Alright, welcome. So we're going to be doing a couple, 3 pages of art today and talking a little bit about overcoming perfection paralysis, what that means, and, what that's looked like in my own life. Every now and then I like to look at random word generator, and the word today was grand. I thought that was quite interesting. So I'm gonna go on Pinterest and just gonna scroll around and look for inspiration. Sometimes it's fun to find things that are already done. I have some pretty funny different vibes. And I'm not really sure what I want to create. This is a really cool collage. And I'm not really sure, but I like this idea for the first page. So I'm just gonna take a moment to see what comes to mind and allow myself to create whatever comes to mind. I like this because it's just like a whole bunch of things for the vibe. I have a little pencil here, and I think that's a good place to start. So this is a new sketchbook with watercolor pages that I got from the Met. I thought it was really beautiful. And I haven't used it, and I've had it for a couple of months now. How to start, what to put in it. So yesterday I went to a barbecue and we played a game called Donkey, and so I just used it to start the journey. And I actually quite like that this is the first page, because I wanted to make something powerful and beautiful and something that would be really cool, and I didn't know what. So I just didn't make anything. And so this page remained blank for a long time. But now we're getting back into the swing of it, and we're taking a moment to just create. And so I feel like I can give myself permission to create. So the first thing I'm actually going to do is just like a weird self-portrait right on top of what we have here. And this has really helped me in overcoming that sense of perfection, that feeling like it has to be anything, really. It just has to look a certain way, it has to be a certain way, whatever it is. I don't have a lot of time today, so I'm not going to try to make anything too complicated. I'm kind of inspired by this one artist whose style, it's just like very unique, lovely style, and I saw a lot of his content yesterday. Let me actually pull it up. I feel like I have to give them a shout out because I quite really enjoyed his content and everything that he was creating. It was just like so cool, be real. But yeah, it was really cool, so I felt like inspired from the sheer amount that this person was creating. It was obvious that, to me, the name is Sammy Lowe, and here's her YouTube if you are interested in ever checking it out. It's pretty cool. I really like it. Really cool artist. I think they're gonna blow up soon because their stuff is incredible. And so I kind of like their style, so I'm gonna take some inspiration. It's a fun style. And I think that's what I would like to do now. I'd like to do something a little bit fun, nothing too stressful, and just like create, a little bit of art. Yeah. All right, cool. So I was talking to my friend yesterday, and we talked a little bit about perfectionism and how that was something that she felt a lot in her life, currently with like where she's working and what she wants to do, and even getting support from family. She feels this pressure to be as perfect as possible, so that anything that her family has given her, she's able to give back. But that's a lot of pressure. That is a lot of pressure. And whether or not she acknowledges it, it is there. And it is going to cause attention on your actions, because it's constantly going to be in the back of your mind. I'm going to just grab some gouache paints, because I quite like little paint, so let me go grab that. What's up, Takutama and Raymond? Much love, guys. Here are my paints. They have been through some things. They're on the brink. They are on the brink. But, yeah, we're just doing a little painting. See how it goes. This is really interesting, because I kind of want to, just continue to paint on top. And I'm doing this on purpose, because I want to release a lot of what I feel like I need, my expectations. Alright. Before I go on to these beautiful paints, I'm actually going to see how far I can go with these markers. So in my own life, I realized where perfection has been holding me back. Because in reality, do I even know what perfection looks like? No, I do not. I can't really say that I know what perfection is, what it looks like at all. But still, I know when I have not reached it. And in my head, I have an idea of what I feel like perfection should be. Even if that's not really, truly the actual thing. So, I always felt a bit silly, because I am somebody who makes a lot of not very good things, in terms of they don't look clean or polished. Lack of better word, they can look a little sloppy. And I was thinking about this, and I was thinking, oh man, am I doing something wrong by churning out caca, poo-poo to the world? Am I doing something wrong by not pushing myself to make it more perfect? And I think at this point I kind of realized that I'm, like, how it goes is that I don't really think I can make anything perfect. And I don't think I'm here to make anything perfect. But still, sometimes, comparison, I see my friends, and I see the beautiful things they're creating, and I feel ashamed at the imperfection I find in my own creations. I feel ashamed that I thought it was good enough to share. And that only lasts for like a short moment before I realize, like, oh, on to create the next thing. It's okay. Nothing really lasts forever. So this has been a journey. It's been a journey to learn how to embrace the messiness that comes with creating and accept that not everything you create will ever be up to your expectations. When you have an idea in your head for a song or a piece of art or some creation, some business or some idea in your head, and you have this idea and it's so particular, you've thought of the details, and then when you start to execute it, it just all falls apart and crumbles, and your masterpiece becomes this, like, for lack of a better word, like this very sad thing that was so grand in your head, and people are like, that's it? And to be okay with that and say, it didn't come out exactly as I had in my head or pictured, but yeah, to know when to finish. Okay, honestly, just starting is hard. Starting anything is hard. Knowing when to finish is also really hard, especially if you're a perfectionist. And that can really lead to burnout if you don't know when to stop. You can just keep going. The weird thing is, when it comes to creations and perfectionism and bridging the gap between what you imagine in your mind versus reality, what is possible currently with your skill level and what you have and your resources, it will exponentially become closer to perfect, but it will never reach perfection. It will never really reach. Hello, Aria. Much love. It will never reach the perfection that you're looking for. And that's the way that, exponentially, that's how it works. You're not supposed to be perfect. Your creations are not supposed to be perfect. Your life isn't supposed to be perfect. Your relationships aren't supposed to be perfect. Much love, Raymond. I appreciate it. I'm just going through it and sharing what's coming up. So as I try my best to transmute, some of the fear I felt around perfection and reaching this level that these ideals I'll have in my mind. And when they are not up to par, instead of being fearful and feeling like I have done something wrong or I wasn't enough, I kind of taking a step back and realizing, like, I did as much as I can and nothing is perfect. Nothing is perfect. Okay. Now let's grab this brush. And here's the fun part, guys. This is the fun part. Okay. This is the fun part. Oh my god, it's turning green. That's crazy. Oh my goodness. I'm here for it, though. I'm here for it. So, this is not perfect. But it does not have to be. It does not even have to be close to perfect. I myself have been struggling a lot with being okay with things not looking good, and then getting over the fear of disappointing others, because at the end of the day, it's not that deep. This idea of disappointing others because your creations aren't perfect enough, they're not good enough. And again, with that idea of knowing when to stop, sometimes you just have to know that, like, you need to you can take a step back. You can say, I'm done for now. Allow people to witness what you've created. And then, receive the feedback. Some of them might be like, this is it, that's all. Some of them might be like, wow, that's great. Some of them might ask you questions about how you did it along the way, and it might inspire them, and others might not say anything. And that's okay. I think the biggest thing to remember is that when you put down something, you can pick it back up. I think when we often work on our own lives and we work on the areas that we want to perfect, we feel like it becomes obsessive. I know for me, like, I can hyper focus on something to the point of forgetting the little details. And the fact that I can take a step back and I can walk away and then I can come back. That it can be done for now. It can be finished for now. So yeah, I really feel strongly to just say that sometimes, most of the times, the ideas in your head of what you want and where you want to go and what you want to have and see, you're going to have patience, and they're not going to be perfect. And there's a chance that you'll probably be disappointed if you have expectations for any particular one way for, the outcome. And that's totally normal. It's so normal. And that doesn't mean that you failed or you're not enough, you're not good enough. It simply means that you're making progress towards what you want, and you're growing to understand where you are, what you are looking for, and the vision that you have, and what is really possible for you to do. I do have to go in a little bit. I'm going to add a little bit of black to the hair, because why not? And we'll start closing in, but yeah, this was a very short. I probably will do a little bit more drawing, maybe on Instagram at a later time. But yeah, my friend, she was kind of being really hard on herself with what was going on in her life, and she was putting a lot of pressure on her for things she couldn't control, thinking that she wasn't good enough. And that really inspired me to take a sit down with my own self. And it really did open up a mirror for me to see the own reflections I have within myself, where this was something that, where did I feel like I was not good enough? And so I stopped myself from even trying. And I thought this book was a good way to dive into this rather sensitive and deep subject by creating something just for the sake of creating. And so I think the most important thing I've learned from overcoming this paralysis of perfection is just make mistakes. Make lots of mistakes. Make mistakes on purpose to see what happens, what comes out of it. Make mistakes because you're going to anyways, and you might as well choose in what realm and what you can learn from it. Make mistakes because nobody is perfect, and you're going to stumble along the path of, creating whatever it is, from a healthier relationship with a loved one or yourself to creating a business or a piece of art or music. And of course, the journey is going to give you so much more than that vision that you had in the beginning that sparked the journey. Because at the end of the journey, you're going to learn so much more. And you're going to have something that is greater than perfect because it's God's will. And I believe that's greater than perfect. It's that's divine. And I think we look at a lot of the beautiful divine things in the world and we take them for granted because they don't look as aesthetically pleasing or beautiful, from, a flower that looks simple and doesn't have very flashy colors to to your fingernails, which are divinely made and growing. We kind of take them for granted sometimes, but that's okay. All right. So I think I'm going to call it a day because they're calling me. And I appreciate you for joining. This is what we got. This is what we're going with. It's a simple painting. I'm not going to say I knew what I was going to paint when I sat down, but this is what we got. And I appreciate you for taking a moment to draw and paint with me. Good luck on your journey. And I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day. Oh, by the way, I'm kind of excited for the Light Resonance portal that's coming up. It's happening on the 18th of this month. And it's going to be live 16 weeks. And I'm pretty excited to dive more into topics like this, to deconstruct them using light language and other beautiful healing modalities. So the link is below. And thank you so much for joining. Much love. Namaste.